I really want to start automating things further. That's kind of the whole point of Factory Design, is to automate things, and get rid of a lot of the workers. I say that, we're always going to have workers, but I want to make sure that things are just moving a little bit better than they are at the minute. And this is a pretty good start. I'm actually really pleased with this. But what I'm going to do is grab 2 more workers, and I'm going to say you are going to start moving the... you are going to start moving the cotton onto that chute. You are going to start moving some of the grain onto that chute so that we can get more clothes being produced and so that we can get more food being produced. I also want to grab you and say start moving clothes from that workshop into the general store. We only have one person doing that right now. It's not really as efficient as I'd like it to be, so let's try and make it that little bit more efficient. I am going to make a point of saying that the school isn't going to be doing anything for a little while. The reason for that is fairly simple. In fact, I might have an idea as well. If I get myself a barn, and I was to place the barn, say, there, for example, we can put a nice little footpath in front of it. But if I get a barn and put it there, I want to find the person that is currently moving our books. Because you can start moving books out of the workshop into the barn. So if you start doing that, we'll start stockpiling them, meaning that research is going to be a little bit easier later down the line. More so, eventually we would technically be able to automate a system where books from this barn are automatically moved into the school. We're not going to stress too much about that right now. That's a little bit more work than I think, well, it's more work than we can do right now, because what we need to do is start making these cloth conveyor belts. And we're not going to do it in this workshop here, because I actually have a bit of an idea. We're not going to make wood wheels there anymore either, because what I want to do is I want to come over to this space. And I want to come over to this space for a very specific reason. That reason being that I want to build a new workshop. And I think that new workshop is going to be... I'm going to say right about there for a new workshop. And then what we're going to need as well is a stonemason. And the stonemason is going to go... I'm very tempted to say there, but I want to leave a gap so that people can walk through there. We're also going to need a farm. So the farm's going to go there. And in doing this, we can put some... We could technically put some chutes here, I think. I don't know if this will automate with a... I don't know if this will automate the way I hope it will. It might. We might automatically have things come out of the barn, or the farm, rather. But what we're doing here is creating a little automated system, because if we go here, the cloth conveyor belt needs cloth, it needs wooden wheels, it needs stone bricks. So, we can make both of those things right in here. We're going to need planks, but bear with me. So we'll say cloth out of cotton, we'll say wooden wheels out of planks, we'll say cloth conveyor belts as well. So obviously, the stonemason is going to be the source of stone bricks. The farm is going to be our source of, let's see, farm tiles. That's going to be our source of cotton. So we'll plant all of that, it'll start making cotton. And I'm curious to see if it will automatically throw it onto the chute or not. There's a solid chance it might not. But we will, we'll certainly find out once it starts producing. I'm actually going to pause the game while I do this. So now what we're going to need is a couple of workers, and they're going to need to start moving stone into the stonemason. We're going to need a worker to move the stone into the workshop. And then for planks, what I'm going to do, quite simply, is say, give me 2 workers and have them move planks into the workshop. So that's going to be a fairly, manual setup for the time being, but that's actually okay. I'm not too stressed about that. It's not that big a deal. I've just noticed that the cotton's actually growing over here as well, which is lovely news. So we'll see just how well that actually... Well, we'll see if it works at all, frankly. We'll see if we end up having the cotton automatically get thrown onto the chute. I'm going to keep the game paused, though, because I'm not quite done yet. What I want to do is I want to get a barn, and I'm going to put the barn here, and that barn's going to be set up to have all of our conveyor belts in it, but I'm not going to have the conveyor belts moved there manually. We're going to use conveyor belts to move conveyor belts. And good news, the cotton's automatically funneling into the workshop. So the workshop is going to be in a position where it's going to be able to automatically make things and is already automatically making the cloth conveyors, which is exactly what we want. So I'm going to let the workshop do its thing there. I'm going to let it just tick away, do whatever it needs to do. Obviously, the farm could maybe do with some water. That's a possibility. I suppose we could go ahead and get ourselves another worker to bring water to the farm. That way, you know, it'll run a little bit more efficiently. We could get some more workers as well, but we're on 78 of 80 people, and well, I actually can upgrade these houses. So let's go run an upgrade to level 3 and a few of those to get a few more people. But it does look like this is producing a really good amount of cotton. Let's maybe go 2 more workers, just get 190% on the production there. And then the water situation, I mean, again, it's gonna help a bit. Either way, we have 3 conveyors already, so what I'm gonna do to start with, since, well, they're actually gonna need moved into a barn so we can use them. So we'll manually move them for the time being. I forgot that we need to move them into a barn so we can actually use them. But what we can do is we can actually remove that worker, and we can go into build here, go to paths, and do a cloth conveyor right there. And that, if I'm not mistaken, there we go. It'll automatically move the planks into the barn. And it frees up one of our workers as well. So that's fantastic. We can do the same with you. Go in here, grab a cloth conveyor, and it will automatically move things into the pasture. So again, automatically moving things to where they need to be. So what we're going to be doing is, for one, moving more planks, because we don't have enough of those. What we're going to be doing is moving all of our conveyor belts along a conveyor belt into this barn. This barn could obviously be a bit closer than it is right now, but that's fine. That's just going to be, you know, a nice little symmetrical thing over here, and I'm not too worried about it. But that's basically my plan, and that's kind of what I want to do. I want to automate everything. I want to get rid of this guy, for example. In fact, if we had enough conveyor belts, we could do that. We could set up something where these just run straight into the workshop there. And then this guy could be fired or moved over to start bringing water up to the farm. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of cool things we can do. In fact, I'm pretty sure we have enough to where we could go ahead and fire this guy. So if we do that, we can have you go and move water into the farm. And then anytime a stone brick gets produced, it should automatically get dumped onto the conveyor belt and then go straight into the workshop. So there we go. We have 1 fewer person in this whole setup here. We could probably do with getting 2 more for the stone production. That way, we're always bringing 4 stone into the stonemason, so the production of stone will be a little bit quicker. And I guess we could maybe try and automate the output of this barn as well, so that the conveyor with the planks is coming straight down to the workshop, but that's maybe a little excessive. That's maybe a little bit much. It would be an option, though. Either way, we have a few conveyor belts to work with here. I'm going to set these up. I could set these up in an interesting way, actually, and I might very well do that. So if I was to do this, and then if you move, I could place one there as well. If you wouldn't mind there, fella. Come on. Okay, no, you're gonna... Alright, so that would go there, right? So now these... Oh, we forgot about this, didn't we? Never mind. There's something we need to do before we can set up a conveyor belt there. So what we need to do is go to the school, and I believe we need to start researching intermediate logistics, because that's going to let us get a filter. And the filter is going to be essential in terms of... Oh, that's going to take a good long time to do. But the filter is going to be essential when it comes to basically filtering things off of conveyor belts, is essentially the way it works. So what we're going to need to do here is we're going to need to find the person that's moving the books. Where is the person that's moving the books? There's a few workers about here. Not really sure where the book person is. I actually have... Oh, you are, right. So move books into the school. And in doing that, we should end up in a pretty good spot where research should move relatively quickly. I would hope. I mean, it's going to take a while. We need 100 of these research points, so this might take some time, but that's okay. The workshop here is actually a little bit low on books as well, so intermediate logistics might be a long time coming, but we'll get there. As it stands, I guess what we can do is just keep the worker moving the conveyor belts into the barn and eventually get a filter set up on that. Now, what else could we automate around here is kind of my question, because, well, I guess things like, we do have more buildings and all that. We have the kitchen, for example, so maybe getting a kitchen would be an idea. Maybe getting a forge, maybe getting more of these buildings, get a pasture for more animal products, etc., etc. I mean, long term, we want all of the buildings, we want the mines, we want everything, but I think we could start with a kitchen. So let's start with a kitchen. Let's see what exactly we can do with it, because we do have some food production around here, and I think honestly the kitchen is going to I think, honestly, I might sort of throw it either here or way over there, just sort of to figure out what it does. I think to be safe, this seems like a pretty good open area. So let's just throw the kitchen sort of on its own right there and see what it can do. So it can make bread with... Interesting. So bread is flour and fuel, and then it gives us bread, which is a sellable grain for 12 of the yellow coins. If we were to get beef, we can get 6 coins. So beef from a pasture is an option. If we were to get chicken or fish, the fish is actually an interesting one as well. Cooked fish isn't worth as much, but that's definitely an interesting thing. So what that has me thinking is that maybe one of our wagons should start going from this barn to the kitchen instead of going anywhere else. Now this is full of, this has got a bunch of cotton in it right now. I forgot you guys were doing that. I'll tell you what, start moving fish. Start moving fish. Let's just delete the cotton stock there. And you guys can start grabbing fish as well. There you go. Because we can just grow our own cotton at this point. But yeah, what we can do is say, start cooking fish. A fish oil is actually sellable as well, and would start getting us blue coins. That's interesting. Apples, berries, and pears would get us fruit juice, jam, sugar, and fuel. Okay, so we are going to need fuel in here as well. Fertilizer, wood, coal, or magma. Veggie stew is going to take a lot of things. These are actually worth a fair bit as well. There's some seriously good recipes in there. I do think I'd like to try and get flour going, though. I think I'd like to get some flour going into a kitchen. I'm also pretty sure that... So we're moving all of our flour into a grain, or all of our grain into a grain mill, and then our output is immediately going into here. So we would probably want to get, actually, this farm here set up to produce some grain. So if we get a farm tiles and say, oh, we can't afford it, we don't have enough fertilizer. Interesting. Are we not moving fertilizer into, let's see, place that back down. Are we not moving fertilizer into storage anymore? I don't think we are. Now we have a fair amount of fertilizer, so I think we could probably get away with saying, start moving fertilizer into our base. And let's see, how many of the, how many conveyors? 19? Not bad at all. I have realized, though, without a filter, we're not going to be able to move things out of this nicely. So we're going to need to... we'd need to manually set this up. Otherwise, the grain... Are you guys stuck? No, it's just full. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, what I'm realizing is if we don't set this up properly without a filter, and there might not be enough room for a filter, the grain is going to end up on that chute right there. And that would definitely be a bad thing. So what I think I might do is go to Tools, go to Remove Resource. I'm going to remove these ones. Because what I'm thinking is if we take out this bit here, we can put a person or a couple of people in there that are just going to move back and forth, putting it on different chutes. Not quite as efficient as it currently is, but it's definitely a way to filter things until we have a filter. Is what I'm thinking. So this is going to need fuel, and then we'll get the cooked fish. We're actually going to need to upgrade some houses too to get more people. So let's go through and upgrade these houses. I think we have enough to upgrade all of them. So now we can have 92 people, which is fantastic news. Let's also maybe get a little road, just going up to the kitchen there. And let's also see if we can go ahead and get the farm tiles. We didn't have enough to get that one. Of course we didn't. There we go. All right, so that's going to be our grain. So that can all go in there. We can get more farm tiles at some point. But now we need to get rid of that, because if we don't, we're going to have a bit of a problem. So we need another worker as well. We don't actually have enough yellow coins. No, we do. So you're going to start moving grain onto that chute. And then I guess more chutes are going to be needed. So what we do, I guess, is this. Then this can sort of run straight across. It can't go uphill, though, I realize. So honestly, a conveyor belt might actually be needed there. Because that straight up cannot go uphill. We're going to need to construct something there. Absolutely going to need to construct something there. Let's have that go in. Let's have this go here. And then we need to do scaffolding. So if we get a structural blocks, we can do these. And basically do some scaffolding. We can go pillar scaffolds along here. So something like that, so we can walk through there still. Then we're probably going to need another scaffold block. And then some ramps. Actually, no, we don't need ramps. I'm completely wrong on that. We actually need to bring the blocks to here. And then we put some half stairs on it, so my workers can go up there. And then we do our scaffolding blocks up here with the arches just here. That way the chute can run straight over. So that is going to let us do, hopefully, this right here. So he can grab that, throw it on the chute, and just go back and forth. But that actually needs to go into a grain mill. I'm an idiot. That needs to go into a grain mill first. So, buildings, grain mill. I wonder if I place it that way, would it automatically just throw it in there? Either way, we'll place that. You're going to start making flour. This can be sort of demolished a little bit. We might put one back in there. That might be nice. So let's just do one little structural block there with a chute going that way. So straight into the grain mill. I think flour can go on a chute. I'm not sure. I guess we're going to find out if flour can go in a chute. It can. So then flour goes in here, and that's going to let us make bread. So there we go. We're going to start making bread once we get fuel. So we are going to need... Wait, can that only make one thing at a time? It can. Interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. So we'd need another kitchen to make the cooked fish. I didn't know that. Okay, well, that means the wagons are going to need changed a little bit, but okay. Either way, that's sort of an automated way to do that. We do need fuel going in there, though, and I really want to know where my wagon is that goes to the kitchen. You go to the kitchen. Right. So start grabbing fish and just take it to the food market instead. So that's going to automate the production of flour. That will help automate the production of bread. And I guess we just need logs, really. So we could set up a system that goes from this barn here all the way over. We could use conveyors for that technically, but that might be a little excessive. It would look good though. It would absolutely look good. And then a system to automatically take the bread over to the food market. That'd be fantastic. I'm very tempted. I'm actually very, very tempted. I might automate a system that comes out of here, but the thing is, it would need to come out of that front door. And then it would have to back up before it would stop going to the kitchen. But it would look cool. It would look cool. How many of these do we have? 33? I reckon we do it. I reckon we go in on this. So let's see. Scaffold ramp. We're going to go there. We're going to try and build something that's going to look good here. So we're going to need more scaffold blocks. And then what I want to do is build some of these pillars. And we'll see. I mean, we can go to there. So that's the height it's going to be right there, going along those trees. And I think I want to bring it... I want to bring it up around here. So maybe it runs sort of along that raised bit of road. That could look kind of cool. And then it would go down and sort of around here and in that corner. Yeah, that might look really interesting. Okay. We might be onto something cool here. So that sort of raises up there. And then it'll just sort of follow around. The only problem is you can't go under it. Which might block off the some movement around here. You can only go under it right there. So maybe it would be worth taking this up even higher. And even sooner so that we can get some traffic moving under there. I think we're going to have to do that. So let's go here and here. And let's see if we can just move the scaffolding up enough that we can get people going under that. Yeah, I think that'll work. So if we were to do stone bridges there, we can then do the pillar scaffolding in those spots with the arches, so people can walk under that. And then we could do some more stone bridges here and here with stone road ramps on either side. So you can walk through there, get to wherever you need to go, and then you're sorted. And then the ramp or the conveyor just continues. So that seems nice. Let's just do that. So that's a spot people can walk through. We need another ramp as well. And let's do some conveyor belts. Let's go. Let's do this. So the conveyors just go like this. And that's going to bring all of the that's going to bring all of those planks over here. So just straight over like this. Have it turn, have it go in there. So that's going to bring all of those planks into the kitchen, and the kitchen will start making... Oh my god, that looks interesting, is what that looks. Definitely interesting. But that should put us in a spot where the kitchen will be making a fair amount of bread, right? Yeah, there we go. So we're making bread. So now what we need to do, I think, is go to workers, and we want to get ourselves a wagon. And I'm going to say, wagon, start moving bread into the food market. In fact, we could probably get away with another wagon doing that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get another wagon doing that, so we can move 4 things at once over to the food market. Might get a little bit stuck, so it might be worth going in and removing these trees just to clear out some space for them. And it might not be a bad idea to do a little path there and a little path there, because I'm nice like that. That way the wagons have room to move around a little bit. But the good news is, that's going to give us so many yellow coins. I mean, bread output is not going to be... It's not going to be high enough to necessarily warrant 2 wagons, but we are, I think, fairly well automating the process of getting it made. I mean, this is still full, which is good news. This is completely full, and eventually we can put a filter on that, or a splitter or something, and have the wood go elsewhere too, so that's definitely not a bad thing. I am wondering, though, could we maybe get another worker doing this? Is that an option? They are a little bit confused by the looks of it. I think that one, I think there's one. So what are you doing? You're... Okay, so they're sort of working. Like, you're trying to go around awkwardly. That's not ideal, but... Yeah, I think we might need to change up the ramp a little bit. Let's just see if we can get rid of you. Then do that as well. If we go in here and do some of the scaffolding like this with the bridge on top, clear those two out as well. If we put the bridge up there, yeah, they have a little bit further to walk, but that should put them in a spot where they can hopefully sort of move around and navigate the platform a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. So now, oh, they can do it from up there. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's even more efficient than it was. Oh, dude, that's fantastic. Okay, well, that's gonna keep the flour production up there. That should definitely help the bread production as well. Oh, that's fantastic news. Okay. I'm actually really pleased with that. That's really good. Okay, so bread's been sorted. This is so much... Man, bread is so much less stressful in this game than it is in Foundation, that's for sure. But that's good. Okay. I suppose... How's the school going? 63 of 100 on intermediate logistics. I assume the books are still being moved slowly? Not really sure where the books are. Actually, you're not even doing the books anymore, are you? Okay. Let's start moving books into the warehouse again. Or the barn, whatever it's called. We'll start moving books in there so that we can hopefully stockpile them a little bit and then get them back into the school. Because the school's doing alright. I mean, 63 of 100 without any books going in there recently, that's actually not bad. So don't mind if I do there. Right, so the kitchen's up and running, I suppose. We could, if we had some kind of splitter, set up another one. But I think what I'm going to do is go through and try and set up, like, all of the buildings first, and then start getting duplicates of them. I'm also curious as to why this stonemason's barely doing anything. Oh, we do have a bit of stone in there, just not much. Fair enough. Let's see. So what else do we not have? We don't have a forge, but we can't actually get a forge right now. It looks to me like stone is actually sort of a limiting factor here. Where are we not bringing any stone to this? We are. Why are they bringing it from over there, though? Can you not bring it from here? Would that not be better? No, they're bringing it from that side. That's very strange. That's a very strange thing to be doing. I'm almost tempted to say that we set up a separate stonemason, like over, so just anywhere else, like over here. Because as long as it's in a barn, we can use it. And we have a lot. We technically have a lot of stone. We have a lot of stone. I've just noticed. We probably do. I don't think we need any of that, do we? We need it for food markets. We need it for schools. I'd say we probably have enough in storage, though, that we could maybe stop moving stone anywhere but the stonemason. That might not be a bad idea. So you're bringing stone to the main base. Just move it all into that stonemason instead. Although I'd really like to do that elsewhere. I really would. I'd like it over here. But now that I've got this conveyor belt, it's a little tricky to do anything with my warehouse plan. Although I guess if I go in and say remove some resources, we can remove these trees, remove some of those trees as well. Just create a little area for another warehouse. And if I was to do... So if I was to do something like this, I could set up... I mean, we have iron ore over here, and we have stone, we have all sorts of things. But if I was to set up maybe that... I'm basically wondering if it'd be worth doing what I've done with wood and planks. Set up 2 separate barns, one for stone, one for polished stone. I think it might be, but it might not be worth doing it down there.